everybody, this is the Rabid Hedgehog, and this is going to be my ride and review and thoughts of the K1600 BMW Bagger. I will put everything in the description below because there's quite a bit of things going on with this motorcycle. So, go ahead and mount up here. Get ready for it. Now this thing has a ton of things: central locking, power modes, start, reverse assist, it has the fog lamps, cruise control, multifunction wheel, menus for the systems, I mean, power windows, power locks, everything. It's a car, right? Thing will even shift without the clutch. It's not an automatic, but it does shift. Right now I have it in road-going suspension, standard, rider, and that's where I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep the radio down for this ride as well. Looks like it's in first. There we go. Takes a second to find neutral, as you can tell. Alrighty. We'll get some riding impressions on it here in just a moment. Alrighty, so we are taking off. And I do have to say this, the pedal box is very small for somebody with my feet size, so. Wow, that is pretty cool. You don't have to use the clutch on the shifting on this one. I just did for the downshift, but that's just going to be natural for me because I'm not used to having something that I can clutchlessly shift. Steady throttle, Hedgehog, steady throttle. Keep getting used to like rolling off power to shift, and you don't have to, you just keep it steady and the bike will do the shifting for you. That's impressive. Even downshift, oh, it's so smooth. That's just interesting to me. Engine braking on this bike is actually rather good. Like I said, I'm doing the clutchless downshift, and that's pretty neat. That is really neat. I have to say, that's not a bad feature to have on something like this. I love the mirror placement on this bike too. I'm noticing that pretty quick. That's just neat. I didn't think I'd like that. Now I love it. Just clutchless shift is just amazing. So anyway, those convex mirrors like at the very end so you can get a little bit wider angle, that's pretty neat to me. Very good visibility off the mirrors. Now this does have the power windscreen, as you can see. I do have it up in the air, so that way it helps out a little bit. Like I said, I'm on road style suspension setup and road on the power mode instead of dynamic and all that. So pretty much there's road, rain, dynamic. I'm going to keep in road today. I need to stop trying to roll off the throttle because I'm so used to being on a clutch, you know, and rolling on, rolling off and all that, but this you don't have to. It's just so cool. There's a lot of wind buffeting at the very top of my helmet. I have noted that, and that is the windscreen is at its full up position. Let me stick it down a little bit to see if it's just the way it's, oh no, there's much more wind that way. Okay, so that's just going to be a thing. It's just how I sit down on it. Brakes are nice. Just very smooth on the braking too. Once again, Goldwing smooth, right? Remember the Goldwing was smooth, smooth, smooth. This one takes that to about the same, to be honest. Okay. man, this thing is just smooth in all sorts of respects. But like I said, if you got large size 14 feet, you're going to have a difficulty getting under the shifter where it's placed out stock. I don't know if you can get into it and change it. Like on a Harley, you can undo it and move it up or move it down, and that way it helps you. On this one, it's just too, I can barely get my foot in there. So I'm actually changing it with literally where the shoe connects into the sole. I'm catching it on that lip there and shifting. That's the only way I can fit. So it is kind of a small area. Now, it does sit very similar to the Goldwing, but it feels much lighter. Very nice feeling chassis, and the suspension so far has been bomb. I mean, we have some bad roads here in Oklahoma, as many of y'all know, if you've been here. And now these poor people that are part of our riding group, these roads are not the best, and you hit these bumps, and it's actually not that bad at all. I think we had a stall out, that's what that was. Turn signals do not self-cancel. That's one thing to note. It's happy to be in third gear doing 45 miles an hour. Third gear, 3,500 RPMs. Fourth gear, I'm doing 50 now, and we're still just barely over $3,000. If you're in fifth, or if you're all the way up in sixth gear, I mean, there's not that much pull whenever you hit it. You can tell you're just sitting there going, and you nail it, and it doesn't pull out immediately. There's no torque there. But it will happily cruise there without a bog down, 50 miles an hour at like 2,500 RPMs. Of course, this is a big engine. So that explains a lot of that. But this thing definitely, you need to keep it around. If you're going to be wanting to keep your power band going, keep it in third, fourth gear, and you'll be good to go. Stay with this group here. Yeah, I like it at this speed in this gear, in fourth gear. Now, going through all the things you can do on the motorcycle, as you can see, you can actually scroll down with this multifunction wheel in every of the menus. You have trip information like gasoline consumption, range, all that fun stuff. You have trip odometers. You have handlebar heat, which is off. It doesn't need to be on. It is hot. Audio settings, everything. I mean, this thing has a lot going on, and that was a big bump, and that didn't even do anything to this thing, so that's impressive. Very good suspension on this. Now these bikes do have a hill start assist on them. So whenever you get to a hill, it will actually hold the brakes for you, and you've got to stab the gas on it to make it work and get off, so that way you can keep going and not stall out. So with that being said, that is a cool feature, especially for new riders. I mean, if you're just now getting into a bike this size, say you've been riding one of these smallers like the R9T, then you actually, you know, getting up to a bike like this and you're not used to that weight, maybe even with a passenger, you get to sit there and it holds you down. Just give it a little extra gas and it will release itself. Now, if you get on too slow, you will stall. They even said that in the meeting. This thing just is effortless to ride too. Dadgum. I know why they say ultimate riding machine. Just using engine braking for the most part. Just that clutchless downshift, as you can see. So cool. It's just so amazing how you can bang off the gears like that. That's fun to do. That's the one thing about these group rides that always seems to be of an issue. Weird things can happen. Alrighty, cool. They just had to give a guy a bit of a talking to, and that's about it. So away we go. My goodness, I love this engine. Like I said, it's a 6-cylinder, so of course I'm going to love this engine. Big ol' inline 6. Got to love it. The way this thing sits too is just kind of, like I said, it's fantastic. I mean, my knees are nice and tucked up under here. I don't feel any particular wind on them. It's easy to stand up on it because it is a mid-mount. The seat is cushiony, wide, deep inset. I mean, this is the answer to the American bagger, and I have to say that they've done a good job of getting there, but feeling more like a sport tourer in a sense still. It doesn't have that cruiser feel to it. I mean, if it had the big floorboards and your feet were forward, then you could do that, which they have that. They actually do have the floorboards right in front of you. So if you wanted to drive it like that, that's where your highway pegs are, and that's a nice comfortable position too. With a caveat, there's pieces of the fairing that stab right into my ankles. Kind of that shin ankle area. And then you have to remember to return back to your mid-mount position to do the controls. So it's just like if you had highway pegs though. I mean, it's no different, but still pretty cool that you have that option already installed. You don't have to buy the additional highway bar to add to it or anything. That's pretty neat to me. Man, this thing just is great on turning. I mean, it doesn't feel like the motorcycle it is. And just like I said, ticking through the gears is hilarious. Even though I'm just using the sole of my shoe basically to make sure I fit, it's still, transmission is very positive. That's just fun. one thing I do have to say, like when you get to first gear, it doesn't stay locked. It will actually continue to go down. And that is kind of weird because I'm used to it, you know, stopping there. Also, if you are coming from a stop, your clutch is very, very end of travel. Just like most of your hydro clutches, as you can see, it is a hydro clutch. So it is kind of being an issue, but not an issue because it is way out there. And that mostly is I need to set that. So I'm going to set that real quick so that handle's back more toward me now. There it is. Okay. So the clutch is adjustable on the distance from your grip. I've got it set where I like it now. Brake is too. Yes, it is. Perfect. Put my feet out. We'll cruise. Ooh, they're making this fun. Yeah. Woo-hoo. Oh. Okay. That's all right. I got up on him pretty quick. That's a fun little road. This bike is effortless riding. So clean. Great motorcycle. Oh, it was in that mode. Got to get off that gravel. We're clear on that. It's just so weird to tick through the gears like that. Just like rolling your boats. So well balanced too. I mean, it doesn't have the most amazing sound in the world, but it has a kind of unique noise to it. Like I said, you can see that engine breaking this thing down. First gear, just kind of nice. All right. This is a fun bike. Like I said, the only thing I can say on the comfort is where these floorboards are in conjunction to the fairing and how it's stabbing into my shin. And that could be my leg length, 32-inch leg on a 6-foot body, so I have a longer torso than I do my legs. And that could be part of it. Could be. This thing's just so effortless through the turns. I actually know the guy up in front of me, a good friend of mine. He's a newer rider, only since October. So I understand, because that's a brand new bike, much more powerful than his iron. So we'll get his impressions of it here later today. I bet he's loving that R9T Pure. The only thing I will say, because it's got the forward mount and the rear, or not rear mount, but mid mount. There he goes. Press it. Ah, that's a fun motorcycle. I like this thing a lot. This is not your daily bagger. I mean, just so comfortable. It's just so smooth. Like I said, okay, what I was about to say before we did all that, it's weird having both the mid-set and the floorboards because you feel like the controls on a bike like this needs to be on the forward side, but doesn't need to be on the forward side. I mean, it just needs to choose a side, especially when you have these big, nice floorboards. I would say I hope they sell a forward mount kit for this, so that way you can control it fully from the forward. And then if you want to play, you have the mid set. That's what I would say would be perfect for this bike, is if they did that. Because I got to remember to get my feet off. I mean, night rod natural position is forward foot, so that's what I'm used to control from. But this one here, it's just like kind of a different animal. But it's not a problem. This clutchless shifting, brilliant. Brilliant. I'm doing this all with engine braking, by the way. There is no actual brakes involved with that. None. All engine braking to get to that point. Oh. Engine management didn't like me there. I'll use the clutch again. This is putting a smile on my face. Man. And this is actually the first BMW motorcycle I have, like bagger or big BMW, that I've actually rode. And I love the thing to death. It's a magnificent machine. Absolutely magnificent. So if you guys are looking for a bagger and you're looking between something, say the Goldwing and the BMW K1600 Baker, I can't tell you which one I like more. They're both within the same price range, both 6-cylinder. Both immensely great riding bikes. But I have to say that this one edges out the older generation GL 1800. Since I have not rode the new one, I will not say that this one beats the Goldwing all day long, because it doesn't, like I said, I like it with the 1800, GL 1800, or older generation. And I like it the way, I can't put it together. I mean, I love the way it rides. I love the way it feels. It's sporty, it's quick, and then at the same time, it's a bagger. It has floorboards, it has comfort. I mean, it's just got a bit of everything. So, touring world, you're on notice. You're absolutely on notice, because this is a fantastic riding touring bike. At any rate, this is the ride and review of the K1600B BMW. We'll catch you on the next review.